What's happening, y'all?
Hey.
So, before we get started, I got a PSA to make.
Okay.
When is the last time y'all been in Wendy's?
We just had it. Sorry,
Yo, the whole vibe, Wendy's is a vibe. Like, they had a whole little fake fireplace in there. The food was great. Apparently, they just got a new district manager, and that's the reason why. But if you hadn't been to Wendy's, McDonald's, y'all need to step it up. Burger King, Wendy's, y'all on. Anyways, so today we're obviously in the car, and we're gonna do our episode. So please bear with us. But we're gonna be talking about something that's really interesting to me. And it is, can you be friends with the opposite sex? Like, it's a hot topic, because I mean, can you really be friends with the opposite sex?
Yeah.
So we ain't even got into it. And Chanel has already got an opinion. But before we get started, I want to kind of lay the premise for what the Bible says a friend is. So, according to the Bible, Proverbs 18:24 says, "A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother." And so, before we even decide if you can be friends with the opposite sex, I think it's important that we can agree with the fact that a friend is like a companion, right? And they are a helpmate, such as your spouse, just not as much of an intimate capacity. And so your friend is supposed to be somebody that helps you be a better person.
Right.
Now, for the question, somebody's already gave their answer, but you know you gotta elaborate. So, Chanel, why can a male not be a friend with a female if he's married?
Well, let me say this. I'm not gonna say that you cannot be friends with the opposite sex at all, but you definitely shouldn't be friends with the opposite sex alone. Like, Jeff has a friend, he met at work, and like anytime she invites Jeff, she invites me, because I'm not playing that. I'm just kidding. But she has that kind of respect.
She passionate about this. Eyes this way, lady.
She just has that respect because she knows it's inappropriate for her to be alone with my husband.
Sure.
And likewise for me, I should not be alone with any man that's not my husband or my daddy or my grandpa or my uncle or something like that.
So, y'all, first off, my wife is beautiful. Look at her. Y'all, we've been beefing for these past a few days, and I haven't been able to touch her like I want to. But I'm touching you tonight. I'm rubbing you tonight. Oops. No, but okay, so really, y'all, Chanel didn't change the answer because originally, no, she said no at first.
Let me go back. So I'm gonna say, so my answer is no to a certain extent.
Okay.
So I think you can have friends of the opposite sex.
Okay.
But you play with fire if you try to be friends with somebody you dealt with.
Okay.
You know what dealt with me, or they're an ex.
That's right.
And so, I mean, I can give you a live example of how that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, so before you go there, let me give my stance.
Okay.
So I think that you absolutely can be friends with an opposite sex. I do have, to Chanel's point, I don't have many, but actually I do. I do have a lot of, not close friends. Not close friends, but I do have a lot of female, what is the word? Acquaintances. And so I think that in order to be friends with the opposite sex, like it has to, first off, if that person does not respect your spouse, you cannot be friends with them. If that person respects your spouse and that person understands that the only time that you guys can be alone or be together is with your spouse, then that's a premise that you can work off of.
Right.
Also, I think it has to be like you cannot be physically attracted to the person. You shouldn't be physically attracted to anybody besides yours. Well,
But that's not true.
not that
you find
you're gonna
other
find
people
you're gonna
attractive.
find people physically attracted, but the next step is what I'm
Okay.
talking about. Like, it's one thing for you to identify, man, that's a gorgeous lady. However, you stop that thought in that moment and be like, but my wife is also gorgeous,
And she crazy.
and she is crazy. And so let me change my mind because she can read my mind.
Oh my.
And so it can't be anything more than that if that's your friend, because I think that muddies the waters. Okay, so Chanel, you said, what's an example of a reason why? Because you're playing with fire, to be honest, because it could go wrong. I have an example.
Okay.
So before me and Chanel dated, I was dating this young lady, and I broke it off with this young lady because I had met Chanel after I had met her, and I told her straight up that me and Chanel were getting serious, and that I didn't want to hurt her and drag her along in there, and so that I needed to distance myself from her so I could pursue this relationship. And at the time, she took that very well. Like, she took it, and I think she was thankful she was hurt, but she was thankful that I was honest with her. Well, fast forward to a few years later, me and Chanel are engaged at this point. And we were going to an event together, and Chanel had told me that there had been instances where she felt that
This girl.
that her intentions weren't in the right spot.
Right.
And I was giving her the benefit of the doubt because I was seeing her in the light of when I initially told her a few years back. Well, we had mutual friends. We're in this event together, and it was myself, Chanel, and a couple couples that were with us. So we were in the parking lot getting ready to walk into the venue, and we were waiting to make eye contact with this young lady so that we could speak, because there wasn't any hard feelings there. Well, she was acting funny, and this is the first time that I had ever witnessed this.
I had been trying to tell Jeff, y'all. I had been seeing her, and she wasn't speaking. I'm like,
Yeah, and I was like, Chanel, no, this is the first time that I seen it, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a difference. And so we get into the venue, and it's like an intermission, and she comes up to us, and she tells us basically that, so first off, she asked for an invitation to our wedding, and I was okay with giving it, and Chanel was as well. She was okay with it because the rapport that I had built with this lady. And so she came up to us and told us, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it to the wedding.
Pause.
Okay.
She spoke to you, and she did not speak to me.
Ooh. Okay. Well, she spoke to me, and she didn't speak to Chanel, apparently. And she said she wasn't going to be able to come to the wedding. She had some other engagements and everything. And I was thinking to myself in that moment, I was like, but you asked to come to our wedding. We didn't. We did invite you, but we didn't. You weren't one of our guests. We honored your request by allowing you to come, and now you're coming to us telling us, hey, you're not gonna be able to be there. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. Like, you're already acting funny anyways. And so I say all that to say this. Sometimes you may have a certain relationship with the person, with the friend, but if they're not respectful of your spouse, you cannot be friends with them. They can't just respect you and disrespect your spouse, and then y'all can be friends. Like, you can't come to me and be like, hey, Jeff, I like you, but I hate Chanel. No, that's not how it works. Me and Chanel are one. If you hate her, then we beefing. Like, we need to square up or something, because, like, it ain't gonna go down that way.
But another reason, like, so that was one scenario that, like, we had to deal with. But another reason why you don't need to be, like, cool with somebody you dealt with, like an ex, because y'all had, like, feelings for each other. And just because y'all say we friends, that don't mean, like, oh, y'all laughing one day and then something that a feeling you remember come back.
Baby, what's in your hand?
It don't matter.
You want to put the paper towel down?
It don't matter. Anyway, like a memory or something come back,
Yeah.
and then it make you start thinking about stuff. That's out of line. You don't need to be friends with somebody dealt with.
That's right. And here's the thing: different strokes for different folks. We know some couples that are pretty cool with their exes. That's not the way this thing works right here. I have nothing against any of my exes. I have nothing against any of her exes. However, we can't be friends. We can be cordial. We can be civil. We can be pleasant. But like
friends, we ain't hanging out.
Yeah.
We ain't talking on the phone. We ain't texting.
Yeah.
Like that.
We can't do that. And so remember, you have to really have these conversations because these are the type of things that creates trust issues in your relationship. And these are things that play on insecurities, and that the enemy comes in and he likes to use these type of instances to weaken your bond with your spouse. So it's really important that if you're dating, if you're engaged, if you're married, realize that a lot of the stuff that we're talking about being married, you don't have to be married to start practicing. Like, you should start practicing those things now and perfecting them. If you have any friendships with the opposite sex, you should really sit down with your spouse and discuss these relationships and pan out which ones you can keep and which ones you can dispose of. And remember that being a friend is not just hanging with somebody because you enjoy their company. That's not a friend. Biblically, that's not a friend. That's just somebody you like hanging around. Because you can like hanging around a person that smoke weed all day and give you free drugs and doing a whole bunch of other things, and that might be fun, but that person is not that's biblically not what a friend is, because that person is not helping you be better. Let me hit your mouth a little bit. So that was our talk today, guys. We didn't want to be too long because we are in the car, but really hope that sheds some light on our take of what a friend is. By no means are we saying our word is law. We try our hardest to use the word and to interpret it and to use it in our relationship to where we both, feel good about it.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And we're both respected.
Yes.
And no one, like he said, you don't know what kind of insecurity your spouse
That's right.
may have or may rise up if you are friends with somebody of the opposite sex. And that's just something you can avoid.
Yeah.
Real easy.
That's right. So until next time, we love you guys. Y'all have a wonderful week. See ya. Peace. Peace out.